Hey, it's Matt. Welcome to my YouTube channel. There are many like it, but this one's mine. I'm rocking the Manchester City jersey today, and I'm going to put on this cool Guinness bucket hat. It's actually kind of neat. My brother brought this home. He went over to the UK a couple of times and stopped at some place and brought me some souvenirs. Cool thing about this hat is it's like got soft fuzzy side on one side, and then you can flip it around and it's I don't know, silky on the other side. But this is an officially licensed Guinness product. Today I'm going to wear the slick side inside, because when you have as much hair as I do, the other side's better for when you're bald. So yeah, this is good. Looking good, look good. Anyway, Manchester City bucket hat. I am talking about a CD today that changed my life. And that CD, many of you may know, is this one. What's the Story Morning Glory by Oasis, which is probably my second favorite band of all time. This is an original copy of the CD from back in the day. You can see that it's got a sticker on it that says nominated for Grammy Award. I actually have a copy of this on vinyl too, in case it's busted. It goes to show how old this is. Yeah, I have a copy on vinyl too. Not, again, I talked about in another video, I don't like vinyl to play vinyl. I like vinyl because it, art's bigger, hanging on the wall, whatever. This record changed my life. How did this record change my life? Back in the late 80s, early 90s, I've always wanted to play guitar. My whole life I wanted to play guitar. And started on piano when I was young, and I have a lot of regrets now. I wish I would have stuck with piano, because I'd probably be really damn good at this point. But I can still plink at it a little bit here and there, but most of the technical stuff that I learned I've kind of forgotten. That said, since I've picked up the guitar, I've been able to kind of like piece bits and pieces of what I know on guitar back into piano. So I kind of play piano like I play guitar, from a thinking like a guitar player's perspective, if that makes any sense. Which is a little weird, because piano, your chord shapes on guitar, there's a lot of inversions that you just don't do. Well, I don't do. A lot of guitarists do, but the inversions on the piano actually sometimes make chords a lot easier to play and give them different sounds. So there's a lot that I don't know about piano. But anyway, back to the record, and I always wanted to be a guitar player, and was always a big Queen fan, and Brian May is my favorite guitarist of all time. But he's not a guy that, if you're learning to play guitar, that you want to look at and try to emulate what he's doing, because as a new guitarist, it's very, very, very intimidating to see some of the stuff that the guy can do. In fact, there's a video on YouTube called Brian May Star Licks, which was back from probably late 70s, where he breaks down some of his iconic riffs, and he's like, here's this riff, and here it is a little bit slower, and it doesn't really seem like it's any slower. So it's like, I can't do that. Brian May was, the reason I always wanted to play guitar, and he's the reason that I almost always wanted to quit playing guitar. But then this record hit my consciousness, and it has that song on it that every guitarist knows how to play that song. If you were learning to play guitar in that period, you know how to play that song. The song, of course, is Wonderwall. But for me, it was like kind of an eye-opener on a lot of different levels. It showed me that I could actually do stuff musically that didn't have to be super complicated, that could still be cool, that could resonate with me musically, but wasn't super intimidating or super, scary to dive into and try to learn. The other thing it did is it kind of opened my eyes to a whole new genre of music as the color changes. So sun's out. It's 32 degrees here. The wind is blowing crazy. 32, but it feels like 20, 15. It feels cold out there. But anyway, from the second Oasis record, I went back and rediscovered the first Oasis record. Definitely Maybe, and I'd heard the song. What was the big hit off of? Definitely Maybe, Live Forever. I'd heard it. It made a little bit of an impact here in the United States. But Morning Glory is the CD that really put Oasis on the map here. But from there, going back to Definitely Maybe, and finding more, great songs that I could actually play on the guitar was huge for me. But it also opened up my I learned music backwards, or I found artists that I liked that inspired Oasis to do what they did. So I went backwards from Oasis, and I discovered, the Stone Roses, and before the Stone Roses, I discovered the Smiths and things along those lines that fell in that different genre of what they called Britpop, or in the case of the Stone Roses, it was Manchester, and all the bands along that scene, the Happy Mondays and the Inspiral Carpets and the Charlatans and things like that. So it kind of opened my ears up to whole new bands, and really kind of formulated my musical identity for a while. It still does to an extent. That I think Noel Gallagher is the best songwriter of my generation, and I know he takes a lot of flack for. He says, "Oh, he's not a great lead guitar player. He's not a great lead guitar player," and no, he's not a great lead guitar player. And when you compare him to some of his contemporaries from even that period, Graham Coxon from Blur, I think, is an excellent guitar player, and he's a better guitarist than Noel Gallagher is. And a guy like what's his name, Bernard Butler, I think, from Suede, great guitar player. So yeah, Noel's not a great guitar player, but what he played on pretty much every Oasis record was something that myself as a novice guitarist could pick up and say, hey, I can do this. It inspired me to continue to play. Otherwise, I'd have been putting the instrument down in frustration and just not progressing. So Noel Gallagher he's a musical hero of mine. And as far as the feud between, since Oasis broke up, Noel and Liam really don't like each other. I mean, they never liked each other, but now they don't like each other. And I've always been Team Noel because Noel's the guy. And the reason that I Team Noel started for me really early, even before the split. When I opened up the CD, I stumbled upon this. And this is an actual ticket stub from Tuesday, August 27th of 1996, which was a date that, if you look back in Oasis history, this is actually a big day in Oasis history, and I was there. Oasis played what was then the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago. Last time I was there, it was called Allstate Arena. I don't know if it's still called that now or if the name's changed. But we heard on the news that Liam wasn't going to be at the show. It was really funny because when we got to the arena, there were these posters or these signs stuck up all over the place. Liam Gallagher, lead singer of Oasis, is not going to be at the gig tonight for whatever. Didn't give a reason. And that lead vocals would be performed by Noel Gallagher. And the gig was just amazing. Noel did a bang-up job. I'm like, wow, the songs actually still work even with him singing. In some cases, I think they work better with him singing. So, from that point on, I was Team Noel, and I still am to this day. Not to diss Liam. I think Liam's one of the great frontmen of rock and roll history, and I think he's got a very, unique and voice that really worked with the Oasis catalog, but Noel Gallagher is my guy, and Liam's not my guy. Like I said, no disrespect, no hate there, but I'm definitely Team Noel all the way. Great songwriter. Um, One of my musical heroes. My acoustic guitar is a Takamine, which is what Noel was playing back in those days. I think during in fact, the MTV Unplugged, where Liam pulled another thing where he just didn't show up. He sat up in the booth and drank and heckled. Noel was playing a Takamine acoustic guitar, so I had to have a Takamine acoustic guitar. So this particular record, like I said, changed my life in a lot of different ways, musically, and opened my eyes to some things. And to this day, it still stands the test of time. I think that it's a great record, and to me, it's very important. From probably, like I said, my second favorite band of all time, behind Queen. So, bust out your Morning Glory and give it a listen. And I will catch you guys next time. Cheers.